Hey guys, John here from Nothing But Cardboard. Today I'm going to do a quick video on how to get possibly better grades and to save some money. And I know it's a controversial topic on cleaning cards and waxing them and all this. We're not doing any of that. It's just edge work, looking at edges, things you can look at and how to fix them before you send them in. So I'm going to get in that video and just show it to you. If you're not a subscriber, we'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button. Also hit a like. Leave comments down below. Let us know what you think. We like the good comments. We like the bad comments. Whatever you guys send, we read them all. So let's get into the video. Alright guys, so the rest of the video you won't be able to look at my face. Just going to get into this and show you what we're doing. So again, I know the subject's touchy. A lot of people are debating waxing cards, or it's altering the cards or changing them. This has nothing to do with this. Today we're just going to be talking about edges and cleaning the surface as far as fingerprints, lint, dust. So what you will need to do this, what I'm going to show you today, is painter's tape, fiber cloth, eyeglass cloth, either one. And if you want to, you can, this is a cleaning pen that came from Kurt's. But you can also just use a credit card or a pen, pencil, and remove the eraser. It's just to get the fuzzies off a little bit better. That's the tools that you'll need. Before I get started, I want to just say, don't ever practice on the card you're going to use. Practice on a junk card. Get the same type. If you're doing a chrome card or mosaic or a prism or paper card, practice on the same card so you kind of know how it's going to turn out. So first we need to discuss grades, how grades work. Each company is different. It's going to be very vague on this because I don't want to get all into it on this video. The companies will grade your cards for criteria. You have surface, you have centering, you have edges, then you have the corners, and they'll give them a numeric grade, and they average those grades out for the final grade. Companies that use subgrades like BGS, CSG, HGA, those companies, when you get those back, you can see exactly where you came up short or why it graded the way it graded. I don't want to get into all that. Most of them it's half a grade higher. Some of them you can't go above the lowest grade. You're never going to have a card that's got like an 8.5 that grades a 9.5 or a 10. Sometimes a 9 will go to a 10 if the other subgrades pull it up. So like a 9.5, 9.5, 9.9 would get a 9.5. So for SGC, HGA, BGS, those would be their 9.5, which is their gem net. So for PSA, let's say this card got a 10 on centering, 9.5, say 10 on corners, 9 on surface, and a 9 on the edges. If we can clean up the edges based on what I'm going to show you today, it would get a 10, a 10, a 9, and a 10. And then the possible grade would be a 10, not a 9. So it has a better chance of bumping up just by fixing one of those four things. You can't fix centering. Surface, like we talked about, people clean them. That's debatable. People do sharpen up the corners, flatten them out. But we're just about just cleaning up the edges. So something simple that you can do without altering the card or changing it, depending on how you feel about that. You can adjust that to a higher grade to have your card bump up. So I'm going to show you some pictures of how these edges look, and then I'll show you how we're going to fix them. So I have a scope that I'll be able to show you that it shows a lot better, but you can also use magnifying glass. When I look at it through my regular eye, I can see it, but on camera, I don't know if you can see these on there or not. This microscope I just bought on eBay or Amazon. These are little fluffies that we're talking about that stick up. It can affect your grade because when they look at it, it looks like the edges are worn are uneven. A lot of people think about edges as being, this part of the card. It's actually part of the surface, but it's along the edge, and that is edges. If you have cards that have black border or colored border, yes, that can affect it. You can see where it's dinged or it's altered. Edges we're talking about are actually the edges where the card is cut. Like I said, when it gets on a corner and you have the fuzzies, it can make that corner look like it's really off and it's not a sharp corner. See that fuzzy that's on the corner? That makes the corner not look sharp just because it's on there. You can see these little fuzzies. All we're doing is removing them. We're not doing anything to the card to alter it at all. And you want to check both sides. Anytime you check a card, they grade front and back, all four. Even though the edges are on the front and the back and the corners, the surface is different on each card. You want to look at each card and see. This is another one that the corners don't look real sharp, and you can see the fuzzies. The fuzzies again here, and the corner does not look real sharp. So let me show you how we're going to clean this up. So this card, there was 1, 2 right up here. So you just take a piece of your tape, break it off. Again, practice on cards you're not going to grade the same type of card just to make sure that it's going to work the same. Not putting much pressure on it. We're not bending the card and pressing down. Putting it on there and just pulling it off. Just trying to grab the fluffy with the tape and pull it off and get it to stick to the tape. And then you just check it. You can see most of the time they come off. If you wanted to do the tool, you could use a credit card. I don't have my credit card, but you could just use a credit card. Rub the edges. You could take the eraser off a pencil or get a pen. Like I said, this is the tool. Not pushing hard, keeping it straight. You're not going in an angle at all, and you're barely touching it. You're just scraping the card. You're just loosening up those fluffies or flatten them out, and then you'll go over it with the tape again. This will really help your corners a lot. Like I said, when there's a fluffy on the corner, it's going to affect your edge score, and then it can also affect your overall score with the corners and edges. So it can affect your overall score because 2 of the grades could possibly bump up. So here's the first card we did. A lot better. Still a little bit above his helmet, but it removed a lot of them. And the last thing I just wanted to touch on was surface. Every time you touch a card, you're putting fingerprints on it. I'm not come out in the camera with you. You can see them. Fingerprints when you touch them. Even when you pick them up, fat fingers like mine, they go over the edge and they touch them. So clean the cards, fiber cloth. You can use a penny sleeve. Hold down the card. You always want to go away from the edges. If you go towards the edges, you have a chance of catching the edge and bending it, busting up a corner. Wipe it down. Not doing anything. There's no chemicals, no nothing. It's just wiping it down. You're supposed to wear gloves. If you have plastic gloves on, it can't get fingerprints. And that's it. Put it in a penny sleeve, send it off to get graded. I hope that helps, guys. Simple, something you can do. It doesn't take much. Just takes a little practice. Doesn't take any skill. And we have bought cards from other grading companies that graded low in the edges. And when we opened them, they got like an 8.5 or a 9. We could see real bad fuzzies on them. I tried to find cards that looked really bad. I didn't have any around, but those cards had really bad fuzzies, and all we did was scrape the edge, use tape, keep going over and getting those up, especially on the corners where it affects the grades twice. Resubmitted those cards and they pulled a higher grade when we brought them back. We appreciate you guys, so I hope you have a great day. Bye.